Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Outside the Room. I'm C.G. Funk, and it's great to have you with us. Now, we have a special guest today, Maggie Crockett. She has been a massage therapist for 20 years, and she's the lead therapist for Massage Heights Morristown location in New Jersey. She is here, and she's going to share her career story and how she was inspired to go to massage therapy school and what she's accomplished so far in her career. Well, Maggie Crockett from Morristown, New Jersey, welcome to Outside the Room.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here. And I have some questions for you, so let's just jump into it. I'm always interested in career stories and where careers started. So you graduated from the National Holistic Institute in 2001 in California. And just a little side note here, I'm very familiar with that school and the ownership and the leadership. They're phenomenal. They offer incredible education and support. So congratulations for picking a great school. But I'm really curious what motivated you to go to massage therapy school.
Yeah, so I was living in San Francisco at the time. I was working as an IT recruiter. So my days were really spent sitting at a computer on the phone. And after a few years of that, I was definitely needing to find something a little bit more fulfilling for me. I didn't know what I wanted to do. It wasn't necessarily massage therapy that I was seeking. I didn't even have a professional massage before I enrolled in massage therapy school. But there were attributes to my job that I didn't like, and I knew I wanted to change some things. I wanted to find a job that was active. I wanted to still deal with people in some capacity, but I wanted these things without going to school for a long time. So massage therapy checked all those boxes. I grew up on the East Coast, and so I was looking at schools both in Boston and San Francisco. And this was sort of my first foray into the wellness industry. And I liked how National Holistic Institute gave an overall view of a lot of different modalities. They split their program into two different sections. There was first the Western thought and modality, Swedish-based, and then Eastern thought modality, which was shiatsu-based. They also did classes on healthy lifestyles and nutrition. And I really appreciated that overall holistic approach to wellness. And 20 years later, I still love massage therapy. And I find, the whole wellness and massage industry fascinating.
So, Maggie, for you, you've shared that massage therapy is a way to help clients find balance and create awareness. Tell us more about that.
Well, as we know, although massage is the manipulation of the soft tissue of the body, it's so much more than that. A few years ago, I had a client who was grieving. He had lost his wife, and he wanted to incorporate regular massage into his lifestyle. And he said he just wanted to come back into his body. And I think that's what it is. It's a disconnect between the mind and the body that we deal with these days. We live in a world that's technology-based. We're overstimulated. Our phones are never more than an arm's reach away. And I think that creates a disconnect. But through massage therapy, even through just one session of massage therapy, a therapist can help a client to sort of get back into their body. The massage therapist's touch and breathing can help really refocus that connection and restore the balance in somebody's life. One of my goals as a massage therapist is when somebody gets off the table and goes back into the same stressful life they just came from an hour ago, they're able to feel differently about situations. And that mind-body connection really helps to reestablish balance and to create an enhanced awareness of how their body is in space so that they can deal with stresses of life better.
It reminds me of when I taught massage therapy for years and years. And it reminds me of taking new students and then trying to get them to understand the difference between living from here up and really experiencing their whole body. And, teaching them that most of the clients that they'll see are really living their life from here up. They're in their heads. And there's a disconnect between the rest of the body, which has all this wisdom and, all of these messages and stories to tell us if we understand and, inhabit from the toes up. So I love that you said that. That's really beautiful. Now, you've practiced massage therapy for 20 years in various settings. Why did you choose Massage Heights?
Yes, I've worked in a number of different settings. I started with chiropractic and then moved to a sports club. I worked at a country club and different spas. Most recently, I was in my own practice. I have 3 kids, so I really like the schedule that my own practice afforded, but I was really missing the collaboration of working with other therapists. So when it was time to find a new place to practice massage therapy, I looked at different places. I had never interviewed or worked at a franchise before. I had some ideas of what I thought it was going to be like. During the interview process, they talked about really looking for people that were loyal, authentic, diligent, and passionate about what they do. And I think when you create an environment of taking like people together, it really creates this culture of unity and it keeps everybody on the same page. I also like that they talked about learning. Massage is not a profession that you ever know everything about. There's always different modalities, different skills, different situations that you run into. And I like the collaborative environment that you can talk to other therapists who have been in different situations. You can figure out the best way to deal with clients. And, if you're interested in a certain modality or passionate about getting into management or whatever it might be, Massage Heights has been really great about supporting those passions and those interests. And to find a place to work after 20 years of doing massage therapy where learning and growth is celebrated is really an exceptional thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. One of the reasons that we created Outside the Room was we knew that massage therapists spend 80% of their time working behind closed doors in this kind of solo act with this other human being. But that connection to the outside world and to others in their field, can oftentimes be missing in private practice. And so this idea of not in just collaboration with the other therapists, but just connecting with people that understand or look at the world a little bit different the same way that you do. Because we do. As massage therapists, we look through our hands and we look through our hearts and we look beyond, just what's physically presented. And I think it's just a different way to dance through life. Now, what is your favorite modality to do?
I don't know if I have one modality in particular. I use a lot of different modalities in each session that I do. I think my favorite thing is just when it's quiet in the room and the client is focused and I'm focused, and you can really feel the subtle changes within the musculature of a client.
I love that. When you're quiet, they're quiet. It's just the breathing and, the skin and really feeling those. I think that comes from an experienced therapist too, because when we first start out, we're just wanting to do all these fancy strokes and, move around the body and all this movement. But really there's so much power in sometimes those quiet moments and one small area of the body that you can affect change in the whole body. Now, how about this question? What was your favorite massage you ever received?
I think my favorite massage I ever received was probably the environment as well, but on my honeymoon, we were outside and you could feel the breezes of Hawaii. And I had a therapist who was really intuitive and she just knew exactly where to go. And I just felt so restored after the session. It was amazing.
Yeah, the environment does help, doesn't it, with that, which is why we're all like in our private practice setting up these really special rooms, candles burning or sage or, dim lights and quiet music. It's interesting because my first experience, the first time I ever had a massage, I was very young. I was like 21, and it was performed by a Hawaiian healer. So totally different experience from other types of body work and other therapists that I've been worked on by. And I'll tell you, I've had some incredible massages around the world, but that one, it just stays with me. There's something very special about those Hawaiian roots in healing. Now, you told me that you believe being present and focused and grounded is important for a massage therapist. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, being present and grounded in a session is very important for a massage therapist. If we're not present and grounded, certain things can happen during a session, which can leave a negative impact on the client. One thing is time mismanagement. If we're not present during a session, the session could run short, which is never a good thing. Clients are looking for a 50-minute massage. They don't want a 45-minute massage. But sessions can also run over, and that not only affects the current session, but any subsequent sessions for the next client. Another thing that can happen is you could miss the subtle details of a muscle relaxing or releasing, or, a client tensing up during a session. You have to be present and grounded, not thinking about what happened earlier in the day or what's happening after your massage. It's really our responsibility to be present with the client the entire time they're on the table. A third thing that can happen if we're not present and grounded is sloppy draping. And this is really a big one for massage therapists, because if we're dealing with sloppy draping during a session, a client, could lead to a client feeling exposed. And that's a negative for massage therapy. It's negative for the massage therapist, for the client, for the business, and actually for the industry in general. Massage therapy is never about just the physical work. As massage therapists, we bring compassion and intuition and trust into every session. And it's our responsibility to make the client feel comfortable and safe the entire time. And if we're able to stay grounded and present and mindful during a session, that client will rebook and the business will do well, and you will have a thriving practice.
Beautiful, beautifully said. All of those points. And I think we might agree on this, that when you are present and focused and grounded, the session is better, just overall. Right outside, it's the place where healing can occur.
Yeah, you can definitely tell when a client feels that the session was cohesive, it had a purpose, and, it was successful in that way.
Yeah, I love that. That's so beautiful. Now, we've never personally met, so we've just talked on the phone a few times. But so you don't know much about me, but I do have a very deep belief in the healing power of touch, therapeutic touch. And I have carried that belief 30 plus years. I have a feeling you're on the same train as I am with that. And the importance of people receiving these services on a regular basis, because they can totally affect positively their overall physiological, emotional, and spiritual health and well-being. What do you say to that?
I think that's absolutely true. I think it goes back into what we were talking about, with the mind, body, spirit connection. It's living life in a holistic way, where all of the attributes of a person matter. And if you're grounded and you can pull from your emotional side and your thinking side and your spiritual side, you're able to deal with the stresses of life in a different way.
And that's it, isn't it? We're not going to stop what life has coming at us, and we're not going to stop sometimes if we end up ill or experiencing a disease or disorder. But we can live peacefully or more peacefully through those times if we feel connected and centered and grounded with ourselves. And I think that's what massage offers us. Also, the many benefits, as you know, that have been shown through research. Do you have any final words for us today, Maggie?
I'm just really, really excited to be on this show. I feel like every situation in your life leads to something else. And I feel like with Massage Heights and with the show and all these great therapists I'm meeting through here, that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
And you know what? I am so happy that you chose Massage Heights as your career home, as I know your wonderful David, franchisee out there in Morristown, has been singing your praises since I met David. And so I just thank you so much for everything that you give our members and guests, for everything that you give your team as the lead massage therapist in Morristown. You definitely elevate us, Maggie, and we are thrilled that you chose to share your gifts with our Morristown location out there in New Jersey.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for joining us on Outside the Room today. I hope you enjoyed the episode and the conversation. I'd like to thank Massage Heights, ABMP, and ASCP for sponsoring this program. From my heart to your heart, namaste.